Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Akumakast. Today, I'm joined by another couple of our illustrious guests. This week, we're joined by our very special guest. I'll get to him in a moment. But first, an introduction to some of the plebeians who have joined us for today's cast. So, first of all, a regular to the show, I suppose, by this point, we have Chloe. Chloe, come say hello.
Hi guys.
Chloe, once again, joining us from her house in Galway. Today we have our special guest, Declan. Declan is coming to us from ArcadeCon.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me.
And finally, we've got Mike McKay, our security officer, and the guy who joined us in Akumakast Zero, the one none of you will ever hear.
Well, guys, I'm so glad you don't get to see that.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy conversation. So anyway, we've had a complete nut job of time trying to get this cast sorted today. We've had all sorts of problems, server errors, all that kind of crap to deal with, but finally we can get the show on the road, and I'm particularly glad for it. So of course, the Akumakast is sponsored by Akumakon, NUI Galway's anime and manga convention, and sponsored by the WA Cafe Galway. I think we better get the show started with something I think everyone has noticed since our last recording of the cast, which was every time we seem to record a cast, something big happens that immediately makes us seem kind of out of date. Last week, when we recorded the QCon cast with our new friends, we have Microsoft announced a 180 on their policies, giving rise to the Xbox 180. So, of course, everybody knows that they just kind of decided to completely change their policy on internet and game lending, and just decided that everyone else was right, and it's kind of a bad time to be trying to screw over the second-hand market. So, guys, have all of you been having a look at this story?
Yep.
It completely just shows that Microsoft are willing to cave to anything.
It really does, though. A lot of people are saying, oh, look at them finally, coming back with their tail between their legs after kind of putting themselves out there. But, at the end of the day, it's not really going to change people's opinions now after seeing them kind of, bite the bullet with the whole PS4 kind of, console wars. They messed up, and they understand that they messed up and decided to go back on their thing. But in other ways, that's kind of almost cowardly, because they've kind of gone, oh, well, everyone kind of hates us now, we're going to have to do something. But, if they were a good company, but if they were a good company, they would stand by their policies regardless, and just hope that people who like them would continue to buy their product. But I suppose it just kind of still shows that kind of corporate kind of life, kind of mentality towards it. But anyway, we're not going to get too deep into that, because, like I said, we have a special guest here today, and that is Declan. Declan is joining us from, I actually don't know where he's joining us from, but he's joining
Limerick.
us for...
Limerick.
Oh, he's joining us from Limerick. We'll be there in a few weeks for Brocon. But, he's joining us today, speaking to us as the Con-Director of ArcadeCon.
Yeah.
But as all of you know, ArcadeCon is coming up this year, and it looks to be probably one of the biggest cons, I'm going to say, of the year, especially when you look at the entourage, the bus full of guests that ArcadeCon is bringing to the table this year. So Declan, I'm going to let you do your little piece now on Arcade. Try and condense it down. I know you're going to want to say a lot. I know you're got a lot of advertising to do. But
it's all written in my hand.
Give us the quick synopsis of what we can expect from ArcadeCon this year.
Well, this year we're a 4-day convention. We're opening our doors at 7 p.m. on the 4th of July. And we're running from there right up.
Independence Day.
Yeah, that's totally why we did it.
All the fireworks, all of them.
Oh no, we meant the aliens.
So we're going to be blown up in the convention hall. Okay.
Yeah. We're going kind of White House thing, but no. We're running from the 4th to the 7th of July. And ArcadeCon is a gaming, anime, movies, music, comics, and that's a bit of a mouthful. So we just say we're basically a convention for geeks. So if you appreciate fantasy, or whether sci-fi or cosplay or obscure Japanese novels or whatever, you'll find something at ArcadeCon. And like you said, we have a fairly hefty entourage of guests this year. And I think at our last count we had 16 special guests. And that covers everything from sci-fi, like Doctor Who. We have Farscape. We have James Bond. We have the guy who choreographed fights for The Dark Knight and trained Catwoman. We have Chip Zell. We have Jet Set Radio. It's this year is absolutely huge. And on top of all that, then obviously we have a timetable that is, if we put anything more into it, it's actually just going to explode or implode on itself. Yeah, I mean, you think running it for 3 years now I'd be able to talk a little bit better about it, I'd be more refined talking about it. I'm not. This year I'm kind of dumbfounded with the amount of
I'll put it this way. The only other con director I know is Niall, and Niall is, as always, our silent protagonist, watching us from the wings of the podcast. And I'm sure eventually we'll convince him to come on the show and give us a talk. But I'll put it this way: you're doing pretty well.
Oh, cheers. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I like to compliment my guests when they deserve compliments. So of course, I think all of us here are going to be joining you over at ArcadeCon this year. We will be doing some footage down there. We might be doing a little bit of recording. Can't give the game away just yet to those of you listening, of course. But the other thing that kind of caught my eye was the League of Legends giving you a wee shout out there during.
Yeah. It was fantastic because I've been playing League of Legends now for 2 years. So I would say I'm fairly, I play about 4 or 5 games a day.
You're a connoisseur of the league.
I'm hooked. I'm not even not classy enough to be a connoisseur. I'm actually just hooked to the game. So when we were working with Riot Games, our early days of talking to them about maybe would they be interested in doing something with us. Never in my wildest dreams that I thought that ArcadeCon was going to be up there on that
on the spectrum.
It was fantastic to see it, and it's great to have them on board, and they're coming along, and they're going to have I'm still not able to say what exactly they are doing, but it's just they're there for the 3 days, and it's going to be absolutely huge.
Ooh, spoilers! I like it.
I wish I could tell you, but
you can. No one will know. So it kind of brings me to something we do talk about on the con, and it's a little section called Con Talk, and it's where I ask people trying to recommend going to a convention to someone who's never gone or someone who's shy to go. What would you say to them? And this is something I've asked Chloe before. So Declan, what would you say to a person who's thinking about going to a con but isn't quite sure? How would you kind of sell it to them?
I guess my selling point would be kind of my own personal experience in that I've always been interested in video games. I've always been interested in anime, but where I grew up, there was nobody like that. I always felt like I was the only person that was, into watching Japanese cartoons at 1:30 in the morning on the Sci-Fi Channel. And you hear about these events, and I heard about these events, but I didn't go. I wasn't sure. Firstly, how to get there, and if I'd meet people or ever that. But you go to them, and suddenly you realize that there's this fantastically awesome, vibrant community in this country, and people always going about the size of Ireland, and it's so small, and you never it's not going to be as big as the States or whatever.
You don't expect there to be such a community as there is,
and that's it. The community in this country is. It's huge for I suppose for the population of Ireland. Our community is huge, and everybody you get there and you get basically thrown into this huge deep end of cosplays and color and everything, and it's completely intoxicating.
So just to paraphrase what you're saying right now, if you could hear the sound of my voice, you are the resistance. not to quote Kristen Bell. If you can hear us out there, you're in a whole community. It makes us sound like apocalypse survivors, but there you go. Definitely something I think we all can agree on is that the community is a huge part of conventions, and especially I live in the middle of nowhere. I live in Meath in just what is basically a crater. But conventions are something that you always find people to connect with. You always find a way to connect with people, and even if you're the shyest person on earth, you're guaranteed to meet at least 5 other people who are as shy as you and want to be your best friend at a convention. Yeah. It's something that you can't really describe, the sense of camaraderie that forms so quickly in conventions. This is something I always like to talk about because we don't get Chloe on the podcast very often, but when she is on, I do like to talk about cosplay because it's something I would be curious about. I'm not a cosplayer, but I've considered doing it many times. The last time we had Chloe on, she threatened to paint me blue but hopefully we can avoid that this time. So Chloe,
Why didn't you paint him blue?
Oh, because
won't let me.
my avatar is Freakazoid, and Freakazoid is blue, and I would love to cosplay Freakazoid, but I don't want to be blue.
It has to be blue.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so Chloe, you're heading to ArcadeCon with us. You are our trip organizer, I believe.
Yes.
Do you want to give away a little bit of what you plan on cosplaying at ArcadeCon this year?
Sure, why not? Well, I can't say what I'm doing on the Friday because I am participating in a little thing called Mr. and Mrs. ArcadeCon.
Okay.
I'm very excited for the pageant.
I can't. That's the highlight for me. I can't wait for it.
I can't wait for it. So I cannot reveal who I will be cosplaying there, but it is part of a very well-known duo, we'll say.
Okay.
Saturday, as long as all goes to plan and Amazon is kind to me, I will be cosplaying.
Oh, Chloe. Oh, you're relying on the gods of Amazon again. Don't you know that they always let you down when you need them?
No, they won't do it this time.
Hopefully you'll be on track anyway. Mikey, are you planning on cosplaying for ArcadeCon this year?
I can't even afford to go. I'm so upset about it.
Oh well. Anyway. Mikey, if you could cosplay, who would you cosplay?
Me and the cosplay, this is something I'm actually going to have to get back to you on because it's too hard to decide.
Okay. We'll come back. So Declan, I don't know you very well. Like this is probably the first time we've talked ever at all. But are you into cosplay? Have you cosplayed? Like you said, you cosplayed Naruto before. So are you planning to cosplay for your convention this year?
Yeah, I do. I usually my one rule is I tend to stick with kind of characters that I'm similar in terms of build, and by build I mean height, because I'm quite short. So I always cosplay short people. So Naruto is quite short, so I cosplay Naruto.
He's pretty short.
Blackstar is quite short, so I cosplay Blackstar.
Okay.
But this year I'm going out of my safety zone, and I'm cosplaying Booker DeWitt.
Clever. I like that.
And
just so you know, you're gonna have my initials written on the back of your hand for the whole con. I'm just gonna come up and just be like, see that? I own this. Mine. Yeah.
and it turns out there's actually I'm going as Booker. My partner is going as Robert Lutece, and another friend of mine is going as Elizabeth. So there's a little bit of a group.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm doing Ziggs from League of Legends as well. Obviously sticking with the shortness.
Awesome.
I'm going in as his.
Yeah, Ziggs is pretty awesome.
Bombardier Ziggs or Captain Ziggs, I think. I'm going as a skin version of Ziggs. Yeah. And for the ball on Saturday night, then I'm going as Puck.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a nice. That's a nice myriad of different characters there. Yeah. You certainly seem to have them all covered anyway.
Yeah.
But so does that mean? Actually, I shouldn't really say that. I was gonna give a bit of a BioShock spoiler, but I'll put it this way:
Please don't.
Will we be breaking the cycle? I'll put it that way. Is that gonna happen? Is there a fountain anywhere?
Yeah, Sunday night. Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you there. So definitely going to be checking that out anyway. But no, I'm actually really looking forward to ArcadeCon this year. I think it's my first con this year actually. Oh no, wait. Yeah, definitely. First con of this year before the BroCon and heading up to do the panel at BroCon. So it's definitely going to be a little holiday for me. Look forward to it. Look forward to a few days.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. But of course, you're saying the one thing you want to do is fill the place. So of course, bring me along. My ego alone will probably fill a few rooms. You'll be fine. I'm joking. I'm not very. I am actually quite humble. I'm pretty awesome at being quite humble. It's fine. The one thing, and I'm going to say this in a particularly special way that I've been looking at, is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah,
because I have no idea whether that is one game or two games. Solid Snake's new name is Punished Snake. And that is sick.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And the whole thing is just really, really awesome. The only thing I'm gonna miss is David Hayter. Like, really, it's he's been the voice of Snake for like always, and he always will be in my heart. It's like James Bond with like Pierce Brosnan is my James Bond because the way I grew up. But it's like David Hayter will always be Snake in my eyes. In my heart, he will always be there. Whispering Gear, whispering the Metal Gear soundtrack to me. But anyway, this new guy I think will do okay. But I'm just really looking forward. Like I love Metal Gear games. I love games that have like a really in-depth, over-the-top, insane, complicated story because it's one of those things where you can just try and figure it out. And much like the Legend of Zelda timeline, it's not something anyone totally understands, regardless of what any book ever says. So it's definitely one that's caught my eye. The graphics look amazing. The new CQC system works really well. I know that they took some of the combat engine from The Last of Us. And I don't know if any of you know how this works, but in layman's terms, in The Last of Us, every time you throw a punch, your fist sends out what is basically a punch laser sonar that detects any environment options behind you, and then causes instant free-flowing combat. So say you punch a guy in a doorway, your character will automatically punch their head into the door frame and knock them unconscious. Or if there's, say, like a ledge nearby, it will automatically flow in that natural direction, and it makes it all seem like a very natural, very brutal combat system.
Oh wow!
And I know I'm watching some of the Let's Plays of it at the moment, and one of my favorite things is the kind of finishing moves of each little combo you can do. The best one that I've seen so far is a guy goes to put his fists up to fight you, and your character just straight punches him in the throat and just knocks him the hell out. It's like, yeah, throat punch.
Wow.
Don't get to see that so clearly very often, but it was nice. And it just seems like a really like tight-fitting system. And you see kind of elements to that same kind of style in the new Metal Gear Solid 5 trailer that was released at E3. So it's definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on. And the other thing, of course, is Destiny. Destiny. I don't know if you have seen the gameplay that came out of E3 for Destiny. It is, of course, Bungie's new pet project, but it looks like graphically, it looks amazing. I don't know how well gameplay it will work because it just seems like another, we're trying to port an MMO to a console. But I'm sure, like, with Bungie, they haven't failed us yet. So hopefully it will turn out as well as people think it will. And I think, if it turns out well, I think it could well be kind of the new way to kind of platform games, if you know what I mean. Like a new kind of, a little sub-genre of its own when it gets out there. So it's definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on. So I think we covered a lot of the new games there. Definitely Kingdom Hearts, something to keep an eye on. I'm considering getting a PS4, so maybe I will play it and be totally lost in the story. So we'll see what happens. I suppose I think it's time to bring us into our last little segment here that I enjoy doing with people. It is, of course, the what I'm watching or what I'm playing this week. So Chloe, what are you watching in the world of anime this week?
I'm still watching The Devil is a Part-Timer.
You've been watching that since we talked to you last time.
I know, but I've been keeping up to date with it. I really
did it get better?
Yes.
Really? Oh, okay. I was expecting that show to just kind of reach a level and just continue from there. Okay.
No,
what about regular TV? Are you watching anything new?
Right now I am being introduced to Breaking Bad. I've just finished
welcome to the
season
club.
1, and I'm partway through season 2.
Oh, the feelings.
And wow. Yeah, wow. Oh, and I just finished Supernatural season 8.
I will admit, I have only seen a few episodes of Supernatural. It catches my attention a little bit, but I don't know. I think it's something about the main characters that just kind of
puts me out. You see, the problem is, if you've watched it early on, the earlier seasons they kind of grab more so towards a female audience.
Yeah, they're very kind of. They almost remind me of Angel in a way. They're very
just
linear.
A little, but then as the seasons go on, it gets darker and it gets more about the actual supernatural side of things rather than Sam.
Because it kind of has like my brother has been watching it recently, and it was season 1 we were watching, and it just reminded me of like This is basically if you took Angel and Scooby-Doo and kind of put them together.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely
They're such babies in season 1.
Yeah, it definitely seemed very odd anyway. But what are you playing this week? You still cracking away at BioShock Infinite, or?
Actually haven't been playing much myself. I've been watching BioShock Infinite though. I've been watching John play.
Is it John?
Yeah.
God,
John's been playing. I've been watching.
Give the controls to the girlfriend. Come on, do it. He can hear me right now. I'm screaming at him. I know he feels it. But yes, definitely, you have to get hands-on experience with that game. I don't care what anyone says about, you can watch Let's Plays and it'll give you a feel. Nothing compares to the feel of a game when you're playing it and it's playing you.
Oh, I intend to be playing it through again after I've watched John play it through.
Definitely. The one thing I will say is keep an eye out for a little Easter egg where Booker will play the guitar for Elizabeth. It will make you cry.
Watched it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it will punch you right in the feels. Okay, Declan, what have you been watching in the world of anime?
I'm actually rewatching Elfen Lied. It's probably one of my it's one of my favorite shows or series or anime series, I suppose. I watch it maybe like twice a year, and I don't know why, but it just seemed like the apt time to start watching it again. So I stuck it on and I watched like 4 episodes.
It's the pressures of the con. They're getting to you.
Yeah. And I'm going on a psychotic rampage with my invisible arms.
Yes. Totally.
But aside from that, then I'm actually I'm doing a lot of rewatching. I've started Darker Than Black. Yes. So that's something new I've started watching.
Chinese Electric Batman. Yeah.
It is amazing. It's so good. I didn't hear anything about it. I just
suddenly
Googled like anime to watch. I was like, Darker Than Black. That sounds mysterious. I'll watch this. It's so I'm really enjoying that. And then non-anime, I'm watching Doctor Who.
Of course you are.
Again.
Another Whovian on the show. Niall, I told you to screen the Whovians. I did.
And Firefly as well. I've started Firefly. So, I don't get Breaking Bad.
I'm sure you know the connection between Uncharted and Firefly, right?
Mm.
The two main characters are the same person. They both rob a train, both get shot in the stomach, both get betrayed by the androgynous sidekick. Anyway, we'll talk less about that. Anyway, what are you playing at the moment?
I am playing a new game called Remember Me from Capcom.
Remember Me, the game everyone forgot.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I completely forgot about it. It's absolutely beautiful. In the same way that Colombia is an extremely beautiful place to just stop and look at everything around you.
Yeah,
Nemo
Paris, which is pretty sweet. Yeah.
I actually couldn't get over it. It wasn't what I was expecting at all, and I've spent most of my time walking into random apartments and kind of going, oh, what have they got on the table?
Just walking into people's homes. Surprise!
Don't mind me, I forgot what I was doing.
You look like a crazed mental patient just showing up in people's homes, stealing their memories. Oh god. But yeah, definitely a game I would check out, I think.
Yeah, it has a fantastic mechanic in it where your main character can manipulate the memories of certain people, and you basically have to rewrite what they remember to suit you and to suit your goals, and it's brilliant because I thought, okay, just rewind time and change this, change that. No, it's a really deep game. It's really good. That was the one mechanic that kind of caught my eye of the whole game. I found the combat system a little bit odd, but that mechanic alone definitely kind of caught my attention. And I was just like, I wonder if I could just go to a park, see an old man feeding the ducks, and just change the ducks into tigers, and just see what happens. Just watch this old man just go from casually throwing bread to ducks to thinking he's throwing bread at tigers, and just run for his life. That would be amazing. That would be kind of cruel, though. But of course, that's my sense of humor. Mikey, what are you watching in the world of anime at the moment?
Well, I just after finishing Fairy Tail, I'm so depressed that's finished.
It's not finished. It's not over. Go talk to Fee. He'll tell you the dark secrets.
Keeps on trying to tell me the dark secrets.
Yeah, the dark secret is there, Michael. It's never going to end. It will never be over. It's like One Piece. Aside from Fairy Tail, what else are you doing?
I'm watching Community at the moment.
Alright, okay.
The
That's a show
sitcom.
I've been told to watch many a time.
You must watch it. Paintball assassin inside a college. It gets very messy.
Awesome. And what are you playing at the moment?
I'm afraid that you all gang up on me, so I'm not.
Go on, no, do it, say it. Does it
IRB
begin with an
Rugby
F?
World Cup.
You're playing World Cup?
No, IRB. I'm playing the Rugby World Cup.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Why?
I got really bored, and it's rugby.
Okay.
My passion.
Yeah. Okay. We'll let you go because you're the one person I know who plays those games. Thank God. Well, aside from Niall, who's still playing Football Manager in the background, I imagine. Anyway, but
That doesn't count as a game.
It doesn't. It's not a game. It's a simulator. I myself this week have been just rewatching the Persona 4 animation, which I think is really great. I don't know if any of you have seen Persona 4. It's basically an anime adaptation of the video game, but it's got a mystery. It's got like really odd, very thought out characters, and of course it's got Kuma, who is unbearable. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I'm hilarious. I know. But definitely a show I'd recommend checking out. It's got a really nice art style. It's very colourful, and it's got some really good kind of game crossover mechanics, which is quite nice to see. Kind of reminds me of Scott Pilgrim in some ways, just because of nice little crossovers to it. But yeah, definitely something to check out. And finally, in kind of un-anime related news. The only other show I've been still watching is Alphas, and I've been trying to get into Smallville. So I know Smallville is really old now, but I've just finished like season 2, and it's okay. It's bearable, you know. But yeah, thanks for joining us again for the Akumakast. We're gonna have to wrap us up now because we've reached the end of our little talk. So I want to thank all of my amazing guests for coming on this week. I think we got a nice flowing podcast once we got her started. So Chloe, would you like to say goodbye?
Well, thanks for having me back again.
You sound so disappointed to be leaving us. I know you want to continue forever, but unfortunately we have to
I'd
end
love
at
to
some
chat
point.
on and on and on about cosplay and what I have to do this
Sure,
evening, wigs
Chloe,
and dyeing shit.
So right, goodbye, Chloe. Thanks for coming.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for
Declan,
having me
thank
again.
you. A million thank yous for joining us for Arcade. Thanks for coming on and talking to us about it, and I hope you had fun. I know the show took a little while to get started. I hope you bear with us.
I did. I'm still here. I'm still alive. It was great.
And I'm glad you got involved. Feel free to tell everyone now that you're on the show.
I shall do.
Nice and famous. And of course, I'll be seeing you at Arcade. I'll come up and be like, but thanks for coming on the show. You've been great. I should talk to you in person when I see you. And you've been a wonderful guest. And
thank you very much.
Finally, Mikey joining us on. Thanks for coming on. I know you took the effort to step in when we needed you there. And
yeah, totally.
You were great. I think you were brilliant. You're probably the best out of all of them, to be sure.
What's with the flattery, Andrew? It was totally you. It was all you.
Oh, of course it was me, But thanks for coming on anyway, Mikey. And of course, thanks to all of you listening.
Problem.
This has been another edition of the Akumakast. As always, you can like us on Facebook, come and talk to us on YouTube, do all that good stuff. You know how to do it by now. I don't need to tell you. And feel free to contact us and tell us what you want to see on the show if you want any more guests on. And come back, come get your little aperitif of the nerd world every week. And I shall see you again. TTFN.